Hey, Jim. All right. That. Yeah. Open this back on up. Move this on over. Oh. Boom. So, as you can see, this is. I guess I should introduce stream more than I should just kind of like not say anything at all. What we will be doing in this stream is basically kind of trying to finish what I started as best as I can. Is basically what this stream comes down to. So we're going to open this back up. As you can see, things have changed since the last time we saw it. Hey, Brick Built. I think in particular, the thing that changed the most is the side doors. I found out what I wanted to do with the side doors, and I went ahead and I built them. And then I kind of thought about it, and the problem with my previous side doors is that there wasn't any orange on it. There wasn't the translucent pieces here that were needed. There was some translucent orange was just needed in this section here, and there wasn't any, and I had to find something that would work really well for translucent oranges but still open up very well. So previously what it was these pieces on the inside here that had the door sections in them, and you could just open them up. I went ahead and I left these in because these pieces are actually fantastic structural supports because they're very large 6x8 tile pieces, except the center is hollow, which is great. It makes it easy to get structural support in here, but still have enough room for a minifig to walk in and out. So I went ahead and left those in. I found these. These are called banners, but they're basically signs. Is what they're primarily used for. Banners, yes, that as well. But these all open up on their own independent hinges, so as a kid playing with it, I could kind of see if you want to open one, you don't have to open the other. If you want to open these, you can open the other. So I went ahead and I added these in, and I also expanded this section out just a little bit. Why? I honestly don't know why, but it looked pretty good, and because it looked good, I kept it. And so far, I don't mind the decision to expand these out. It looks fantastic, and it gave me some room here, basically. So these can now become an area that we can use for alien experiments or something like that, which is something I want to take a look at a little bit today as well. On top here, because of adding this giant section here, essentially the top was all flat, and I didn't want it to be flat. So the cool thing is that exactly 2 bricks high and a plate would end right where this section of wall ends. So this is just really cool because it connects in just an interesting way. The ratio just worked there. So I went ahead and I added in just some more sloped curving pieces. And there, I thought, and I basically wanted there to be some translucent orange right through here. So I needed something to be here, but I didn't want it to be a skylight because there was a lot of strength that's holding up these doors that needs to go right here. So it needed to be filled in. So what could I use it for? Well, the entire Mars mission theme kind of runs off of these power crystals. So I went ahead and I placed these on the side, which are just large things full of power crystals. Now then, the idea is to not just have 3 of them here and then 3 of them here. I think that's a little boring. I think if this was a real life model, I think I would just have the crystals lying in here all haphazardly, And you could pile in more and more, and you would leave them all loose, and it would almost be like the power source generators come from here and here, as well as over here on this side, because this side is identical. We have some more down here. These are two of the larger ones on both of these. But that's pretty much the only area where those are at. So we might work with making like a power plant or something somewhere in this model later on as we go. Something that I kind of want to take a look at is, let's go ahead and hide out either of these. This area right here is something that I kind of want to take a look at, but I know it's going to be a lot of work dealing with that area, so I've been kind of not wanting to at the same time. So we'll see about that. So we can come through and erase these on out. Erase that, erase that. These groups here were the old doors. We can go through and delete those as we see fit now. That's that. Stuff behind is obviously these sections. Those are the ships were, things like that. So, yeah. I kind of want to work on this, but I kind of don't. To be honest, when I take a look at this, all I really see is, I mean, I didn't really change anything, I don't think. What I really want from it, I don't think I can do. What I absolutely want, and I've talked about this before on stream, is that I want to include every single model that we can possibly include, which is pretty much already been achieved for the most part. This is good. We have the cockpit in the top of this, which makes up the whole back essentially. We have a small ship of this without the wings. I don't have this one, but I don't necessarily want this one. There's nothing really special about this one. The robot's in there, just a slightly modified version. And this one's in here, pretty much whole in its thing. The only thing I really grabbed from this robot, to be completely honest, was the cockpit. I have one of those. Oh, and then also the laser cannons on this side. But other than that, I really didn't grab anything from this one. I did not grab anything from this one either. There's just really nothing that I could have used from it in terms of design. Oh God. Obviously I have the car minus the drill on the back of it. We already talked about this one. I don't really have anything from this one I could have used. I tried to look into using the cockpit, and then it just didn't work out the best, so we can't particularly use this one. As for the drill, I have this entire section without the legs, without the little water tank in the back here, and then I also removed the gun section, and then I kept the rotating thing. I also kept this as well, minus the engines on it. So I've grabbed quite a bit. As for, oh yeah, I completely missed this robot. This robot over here, yeah, I didn't use any of this. I couldn't really find anything to use it with. I've been debating on whether or not I could use the orange canopy piece and then at least have one portion of it set up, but I couldn't find a way. So what I've been trying to do for a while now is actually look at older models of kind of like the same theme almost, and look for possible things to fill the interior, because the interior is completely empty, and I feel as if we have some way to fill it up would be nice, to be honest. So I wonder if these actually connect in. I'm pretty sure they just sat in there. Yeah, they don't actually connect in. So obviously, this whole section, these tubes are meant to work with the air pump over here. This is just a replacement because that part was never in. And these tubes are actually just these. all made together because there was no tubes for those ever made in LDD. But this would allow me to kind of come through and take a look at other things that I could possibly do on the interior. So there's not really much here from the looks of it. Over here is some weird alien robot. The side is an umbrella looking thing and some control panels, not really much there. Dory with a light. I don't particularly know what this thing is supposed to be, but it seems kind of important. Kind of a canopy and a vent up here. I wonder if this is supposed to be a ship. I wonder if this breaks off. Yeah, this is intended to break off. There's just a tool stand over here, and then the air pump back here. So there's really not much that I could have grabbed with that. But of course, we can go take a look at this. I'm we're gonna basically look through some of these. And we'll see exactly what sets we want and what we don't want. Obviously, I really can't incorporate any elements out of this one. I really don't think I could incorporate anything out of this one either. There's really nothing to it. Did I just take a look at this one? No, I didn't. Excavation searcher. This was kind of a cool looking thing. We'll let's take a look at this. Start with this thing, which almost kind of looks like a catapult, but I'm assuming you would put something in here and it would slide down into here. I'm guessing. Okay. Let's take a look at this thing. It's an interesting piece. I've never seen this before, to be honest. Yeah. Honestly, this mech doesn't even look that bad. This thing. What is this thing? This is some type of robot. Hovercraft. Oh, it looks like a hovercraft almost. Actually, I kind of like this design. I think I could use some work. But other than that, it looks kind of cool. I obviously can't use anything out of that. What I'm looking for in terms of usability. It's just like an interior of, why is this on here? I'm kind of looking for the B model. I haven't seen the B model. I'm looking for things that make sense, but they were a part of the Mars mission scene. Because obviously, I could go and create my very own interior, which I did partially with the bunk beds, but I just don't want to. I don't want to do that. I want it to actually make sense, but I don't think we're gonna be able to do that. So yeah, here we have all the Mars mission sets. There's actually quite a few. There was 2 waves. I think Space Robo Force, Space Police, Space Police 2, Space Police 3. Space Police 3, I've been thinking about doing the same thing. The problem with that is the is it this one? I don't think it's this one. I think it's this one. I think Galactic Enforcer was the big one. One of the sets that I need does not work the way that I need it to. Basically, the set that I would be using as a base to work around does not. Yeah, yeah. This one's going to do the same thing. Yeah, that's part of the problem is that I usually just download them and then go with it, but I can't just do that. I don't know what Spirus is. What is Spirus? All these old Lego themes that I don't know about. Maybe I do know about it. This is an interesting use of that piece right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this because that actually really interests me. That's a good use for that piece. But that's just kind of really creative because it kind of like serves like, oh god, like grading. And I've honestly never thought about using the piece for that before. That's kind of cool. This is a jet engine that they used for part of the gun looking thing. It's just interesting, unique. I could do without the arm sticking off the side, but if you're a kid, this is probably super fun to play with. Hey, CTG. Is there a big one? If I had to guess, I think that this would be the bigger one. Centurion sounds like the pretty big one. Lunar Launch Site would also probably be a big one, so we might want to take a look at that one too. Oh, okay. That doesn't particularly interest me all too much. Yeah, see, sometimes there's this, it'll link to a post that's no longer there, got deleted, or something like that, which is obviously a problem. Lunar Launch Site, theme space, it might be this one actually. So it's kind of small and not the best. Let's continue on. UFO. I don't remember UFO. It's see all these themes, right? Like UFO. What Which one is UFO? This one's UFO? Oh, I have some of these helmets, actually. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's a good guy. This one's just got a lot of excess stuff on it. Yeah. Stuff that I want on here isn't on here. So, let's move that. Come back in. At this point, I'm thinking about going through and I'm building the AUG that I want to build. So we're going to go with shape selection. We're going to click on this and figure out exactly how many we need. So we can talk and build at the same time. I guess we'll go into 1,000 subscribers special. Kind of. I will talk as we go. Yep. So, for 1,000 subscribers, surprise, I'm going to build my AUG as the 1,000 subscriber special because that's seems cool to build the AUG, and I want a full-size assault rifle. I don't want something like an SMG. The SMGs that I'm kind of small. I want something just a little bit bigger. The sniper rifles that I have, for the most part, are too big. The AUG kind of fits the balance between not a lot of really intense pieces that I have to have, but not exactly easy to have. A lot of them too. So all of these that I have in front of me are the slope pieces that I got from the order of parts, and I'm going to hope that we have at least 89 of these really small ones. If not, well, we're kind of in trouble, I guess. We have to go through and find some more. So it's that, and we will go through and search for 89 of them starting soon. We need 90, essentially. Of course, what would also be helpful is an empty cup. An empty cup. So the reason I want an empty cup is because it's just going to make it a lot easier in the long run to place them all inside this cup and not worry about them falling over and spilling, and cleanup is a lot easier. So I'm going to talk about my day as we go, but I'm going to count tens, tell a little bit about the story, count another 10, and then continue on with the story. So our first 10 come now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're going to go, I'm going to write these down. We're at 110. So we'll put an I. My day was pretty bad, to be completely honest with you guys. I know there's not too many people watching it, but there's only one. Yep, there's only one. So today was the first day of summer camp, and we were not prepared at all. We had just an absolute I'm gonna have the curse for this one. An absolute shitstorm. Excuse my French, I'm sorry, but that's the only way to really describe it. We were not prepared at all. Last year, when I started working, my first year actually, was during summer camp, and I was scheduled to come in at 9:45. So I figured, you know, it'd be the same this summer camp as well, because it just kind of makes logical sense that it would be the same. So I got out of bed and I came in at 9:45 when I thought I was supposed to come in. And the schedule was not posted until, well, basically after everyone went home Friday. So it turns out I was not supposed to come in until 11 today, which is a long time between 9:45 when I got there and 11. That's a long time. That's quite a bit of time. So I just I live 30 minutes away, and it's kind of a problem for me to go home because I'd be wasting gas, and I hate wasting gas. I want to be able to actually eat and save money and stuff. So I didn't want to go home, so I just kind of stuck it out, and I volunteered my time until I was supposed to be on the clock, in which case I got on the clock, and then we were good. Of course, that's not where it ended. But as you can see, I'm kind of going through, and I'm just kind of pulling out the parts. I'm not really counting them, so let's see how much we have. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we can add another Roman numeral for I to make 20 and continue the story. So summer camp is particularly difficult right now because the group that I am with is way too big. There are 3 counselors in this group, so DCF standards state that we can have up to 75 kids with our age group. So DCF standards are that it is 1 counselor to 25 kids with any age group that is 5 years old and above. And I work with 1st and 2nd grade, which means that they're all basically 6 and 7 years old. So we can have it 1 to 25, and I can't say a single thing about it. It's obviously very stupid. If there was ever an emergency, I would be completely screwed, and if I ever get sued, or if I ever get terminated because I had an emergency and I left kids alone, a kid has massive bleeding or something like that, I'm gonna leave the kids alone. It's what I'm gonna do, because the kid needs medical attention and I was the only one there, so I'm gonna leave all the kids alone. It's gonna happen. Just trust me when I say that. So we have in total right now 30 kids, and school just got out. They are super excited that school is out, so that it's to the point where they are extremely just don't care. You can tell them to do something, and you will sit there and you will say it over and over and over and over and over, and you will keep saying it right in front of their face, and you will make eye contact with them. You will get down in front of their face and be like, hey, I've been talking to you for the past like 5 minutes and you're just ignoring me, and then they'll give you some bullshit excuse, and then you get pissed off, and so on and so forth. right? They just refuse to listen, and because there's only 3 of us, it makes it extremely difficult to bear with all of these kids, and it's bad, is what I'm getting at. It's just, we were unprepared. With how bad these kids are, to be completely honest, I should be coming in at 9. Because 3 of us are needed to control all of these kids. And, well, to be completely honest, most of the day 3 of us aren't there. Most of the day there's only 2 of us, which we're still within DCF ratio. But we're not really doing okay when it comes to the attention that we need to be giving. Most of the attention that we're giving is yelling, no, stop, shut up, things like that. Well, obviously we don't say shut up. It's more like be quiet, or whatever special song or something that we can do to get them to be quiet. That's more what we do. We don't ever say shut up, to be completely honest. I think to be completely honest, I don't mind saying shut up as a person. I don't mind saying shut up. I think the workplace does, though. I don't know. I was never clear on that policy, to be completely honest. So it's possible we are able to say shut up, but I don't think we're able to say shut up. The other problem is that I have a lot of new people who are trying to test the waters as to what they can and cannot do, which means it requires a lot of experimentation. That experimentation is not good because, oh boy, they're doing a lot of stuff that is not okay. And just hitting others, playing certain games, certain rhymes, right? Look, I never had a problem with first, second, third, elementary nerd, walking down the street, licking people's feet. I never had a problem with that statement. It's whatever. It's just that. It's just a statement. It's whatever, right? I never had a problem with that. But management has, and if management hears it being chanted, well, I get in trouble for it. Because I'm not controlling the group as I should be. Which is why I get pissed off when they start doing it, and I'm telling them, shut up, shut up, shut up. I got literally 3/4 of the group is kids that I've had before, and kids that I had over, what's it called? Over after school. Like, I've had them, and I continue to have them. So I shouldn't be having the same problems over and over again with them. But I am. And because I am, I've obviously gotten super frustrated because they're supposed to be my example, and they're sitting there not doing what they need to be doing. So that's another portion of it. The other thing is, people just, sometimes kids will ask you some of the dumbest shit that you ever hear in your life. Right? Like, okay, look, I love my kids to death, but sometimes you just have to make fun of them for the type of shit that they say. This is a relatively silent stream. Most people would be talking to me in chat, so I don't know who this one person watching is, but hi. Responses are welcome if you have anything that you would like to add. I found out today that one of the kids in my group is just freshly moved, as in like 2 weeks ago, from Alaska. I don't know if y'all know where I live or not, right? I live in Florida, the Sunshine State, the state that is known for being hot, other than other states that are known for being hot, that are California, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas. Pretty much all of these states on the southern border of the United States are considered to be pretty damn hot. Alaska borders Russia and Canada. I shouldn't say it borders Russia. It borders the Pacific Ocean. And because it borders the Pacific Ocean, on a good day you can actually see Russia from Alaska, but we're not going to go there. My point is, Alaska is extremely cold most of the year. There is of course a warm season. There's of course a cold season in Florida as well. Of course, it's not going to be like Alaska at all. It's going to be nowhere near Alaska winters and nowhere near Alaska cold temperatures as well. So this girl got dropped off by her mom in the morning. This is all stuff that I heard from fellow employees who were there at the time, because I wasn't particularly there. She got dropped off, and the mom's first thing that she told us was, hey, my daughter does not like the heat at all, so she can only go outside for an hour. An hour is the most that she can go outside. The parent was basically sitting there telling us, like, hey, once you go outside, you got an hour, and my daughter has to come back inside. Which is a huge problem, and it blew my mind. Because your daughter is going to have to get over it, and she's going to have to get over it really fast. Otherwise, you're going to have to withdraw her from the program, because our schedule has, I want to say, about 2.5 hours of outside time on it every single day, which is a long time. You can't just ignore that, right? Kids need physical activity, and they need physical activity desperately. It's paramount that kids get physical activity every single day. Why? Because that's how bones and healthy children grow to continue and strive to be healthy. If we let them sit inside all day, play on their electronics, and do things like that, there's nothing really preventing them from becoming the obese America that everyone makes fun of. So we're the first line of defense. All of those people who babysit and take care of your kids, if they were to play outside the majority of the day, they would have no quarrels with playing outside when they get older. Which is why we recommend we play outside quite a bit. So, of course, we play outside quite a bit. We try to, anyhow. Sometimes, of course, Florida, the Sunshine State, is also known for having some of the most bipolar weather. This is an interesting color. I don't think that's the actual yellow that the Lego bricks are. But I think that might be because I'm looking at this off orange at the same time, and that might, I don't know. We'll see. So obviously Florida has this bipolar weather pattern where it will all of a sudden just start raining out of nowhere. It's pretty bipolar. It happened today. It was sunny when I left home, and when I got to work 30 minutes away, it was all of a sudden dark and gloomy and looked like it was going to storm really, really bad outside. And of course that was a problem that we have to work around, and it's very difficult to work around. The other thing is that some of these kids, as I think I said this before, some of these kids just say stupid stuff, like really, really dumb stuff. Kids expect adults to solve problems that adults can barely solve themselves, to be completely honest. I had this one girl, God bless her, holy shit. She came up to me and she was crying. And obviously, my first thing is, well, she must have gotten hurt by someone or something, and I'm about to have a field day going and trying to figure out who did it, and so on and so forth, to help her. She comes up to me, she's crying, and I'm like, oh, hey, so-and-so. I can't say her name, obviously. What's wrong? All these bugs keep landing on me, and I don't like it. And I have these moments on occasion where I will hear something and I will have no idea how to respond to it, so I'll sit there and I'll just stare at her or at him, whichever is asking me, whichever gender is asking me. There is more than two genders, so don't get on me with that. whatever is asking me the question, sometimes I will just sit there and I will stare because I have no idea how to answer it. I had no idea how to answer this person. What was I supposed to say? Like, we can just go inside. We can't just go inside. There's no way I can just grab her, walk inside, and stay inside all day. If I was able to do that, then the rest of the group is obviously wanting to go inside and stay inside the rest of the day as well. And I can't do that. I can't just walk away. And if I'm stuck inside with one kid only all day long, well, that's leaving the groups outside understaffed, and I can't leave the groups outside understaffed and out of ratio either. So I had no idea what to respond with. So what I eventually responded with was basically, it just came down to she needed to get up and start walking around, because I think her general issue was that she was stationary too long. And they're gnats, by the way. So gnats are just, for those of you who don't know, I think everyone knows what gnats are, but I live in Florida, and I just have to understand that certain people don't know in the world what certain things are because they don't have it. So gnats are just these really, really small flies, and all they do is fly around and annoy you. That's all they do. They don't particularly bite, unless it's a different species of gnats that I just don't know about. They're just annoying, is a good way to put it. All they do is fly around you. They land on you to like suck up sweat, I guess is what they're going for. They're probably going for the salt and the sweat. Is probably what they're really going for. But that's it. They're harmless. There's really nothing wrong with them. They just fly around. Well, if she was stationary, then it was pretty easy for them to fly up or catch up with you and just kind of stay around you and not have to go anywhere. Of course, if she was moving, running, playing any of the games that we were playing at the time, kickball, 9 square, 4 square, we had jump ropes out, basketball as well, along with football. If she wanted to play football, we have two-hand touch football. She could draw on the sidewalk with sidewalk chalk. Of course, she would have to do it while moving vigorously, but hey, it would keep the bugs away from her and she wouldn't be able to complain about them. Of course, the second I was like, I didn't offer her the solution that she was looking for, which was to go inside. She didn't get mad at me, but she basically just kind of sat there and didn't do anything else about it. She didn't take the advice that I had given her to solve the problem that she was having. Which, of course, it goes back to an old phrase, one of my favorite phrases of all time. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make the horse drink from it. Which happens quite a bit with kids. You can blatantly offer the solution right in front of their face, and they will sometimes just not get it. And it's really frustrating, but at the same time, I have to remember that some of them are kids, and I can't always just assume that they have the answers that I do, because I'm a college-level student, and these are first and second graders. But sometimes they do ask me stuff where it's just stupid. I had another girl ask me all sorts of questions that were just really, really weird. Like, I don't know if it was the previous program that she was at that just did things differently than us, but she asked if we had a portable that we stay in. And we do have portables, but we don't use them. They're for a completely different division. So I was like, no, that's kind of strange. That's the first time I've ever gotten that question. The same girl kept going. She's like, well, do we have nap time? And I was like, you're in first and second grade. I don't think first and second grade needs nap time. We have nap time at the church, but our nap time is reserved for pretty much everyone underneath kindergarten. VPK, 3s, 4s, 2s all have nap time from 12:30 to 2:30. But that's the age group, and all of our kids are up during that time, right? Like, okay, so as a kid, I would have loved a nap time, to be completely honest. Like, a nap time would have been the best thing ever to me. But these kids, I can't get them to stand still for half a second, let alone however long nap time would be. So to hear someone ask, "Oh, do we have nap time?" is both refreshing and like, what's the word? Helpless at the same time, because it's like, yeah, I would love to implement a nap time so we could actually get breaks from how rowdy and disgusting half of you are most of the time. But it's not going to work out in the long run because none of you are going to want to actually go to sleep. All you're going to do is we're going to turn the lights off, and then you're going to sit there and you're going to continue talking to your friends 24/7. You're not going to fall asleep at all. And it would, the equivalence to this would basically be, it would turn into a quiet time as opposed to a nap time. I don't think there would be any sleeping going on. Like I said, it'd be, people wouldn't be talking as loudly as what they usually do, but they're not exactly going to be falling asleep either. So there's widely no point to us going into nap time, which is why we don't have nap time with our age group. She kept going. She asked me another question. She's like, well, what happens if our parents don't pick us up? Which is a question I don't think any counselor ever wants to answer. Because what are you supposed to say, right? Like, you don't know this kid's parents. To me, that is kind of worrisome because it's kind of like, well, I hope your parents come pick you up type thing. That question came down to me having to answer it, and I was basically like, well, we close at 6:30, and if your parents aren't here to pick you up at 6:30, we charge $1 per extra minute that y'all are here. And on top of that, like if it becomes a chronic habit, as in it's happening consistently, we have to call DCF on your parents because this is, at this point, this is abuse and neglect. And DCF has to be notified because, for those of you who don't know, Florida state law is that every state citizen is a mandatory reporter. So a mandatory reporter is someone who is required, no matter the circumstance, to report any form of child abuse or neglect that they see as long as they do it within good faith. And that is wonderful legal knees, I believe is what they call it, legal knees, legal term. For basically, as long as you're not trying to get someone in trouble by just falsifying information, you are completely protected under the full extent of the law to report whether or not you have seen a child abused or neglected. And there is, of course, all sorts of different ways that a child may be abused or neglected. So lack of nourishment, so food, water, and things like that. Lack of physical activity actually can be considered physical abuse and neglect. So if you just put them in their room all day and then they go to school and then they stay in the classroom all day, that could be considered a form of abuse and neglect. You are neglecting your child's need to a safe and wonderful environment to explore in which they can figure out the ways of the world, I guess is a good way to put it. You can actually get your child taken away from you for abuse and neglect if you don't love them enough. If you don't give them enough attention, if they become antisocial to the point where DCF figures out that you haven't really been paying attention enough to your child, you can get your child taken away for that reason. There's all sorts of different reasons why your child can get taken away from you. So because of that, wherever this, I don't know where I was going with this point. It's, yeah, like I said, I don't know where I was going with that point. I'm sorry, guys. I blanked on that one. I really did. Tomorrow is going to be just as stressful. I absolutely hate going on field trips. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. We have 2 field trips every single week. which is both good and bad. So the good side of field trips is that the kids are stuck on a bus for a majority of the field trip. That's the good news, right? So we don't have, they can't really go anywhere once they're on the bus. Once they are on the bus, all we have to do is count heads and make sure that we have all the numbers that we need. Of course, if we don't have all the numbers that we need, we are in trouble. The bad news is we're going on a field trip. We are going somewhere other than, yeah. What?
Y'all are killing me with these.
Nope. That goes. So, only one person watching. Anyhow, the bad news is we're going on a field trip. So, I don't know about y'all, but my responsibility is to make sure that these kids aren't doing anything that they're not supposed to, which is hard to do when there's 3 of us and 30 kids in total. So there's 10 kids per one counselor, and obviously we don't have 30 pairs of eyes to watch every single kid. So you turn your back for 1 second, and the kid will start doing something. So you turn around and you tell that kid to stop, and then the second you turn around, another kid's doing something behind your back, and then it's just this never-ending cycle where someone is always doing something that embarrasses you really, really bad. And it always seems to happen when we're on field trips. It can never be when we're just at home relaxing. It's always got to be while we're on field trips. I wish my girlfriend was here to read that because I cannot read that. I am okay. Well, you switch to English. Hopefully, it stays that way. Hopefully, anyhow, I don't. If my girlfriend was here, she could tell me what language that is. It looks. See, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to. I don't want you to think that I'm making fun of you. I'm trying to be racist or anything like that. The only form of Asian language that I know is Japanese, and even then, I'm horrible at it. And that does not look like Japanese. There's one character here that looks like Japanese, and that's this one. But other than that, even then, Japanese is a ripoff of Chinese, so this could possibly be Chinese. And then I'm excluding Vietnamese, and then Korea's language plus Malaysia, and then of course we have Tibet. I'm sure Tibet has their own language. There's all sorts of different languages there in the Asian world. So I don't want to assume what you are, my friend. I apologize. So I've got 20 of these 45-degree 2x2x1 slopes, and I need a total of 90. And the unfortunate part is I don't think I have a total of 90. So we're going to count on another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 67, which is a problem because those pieces are important. Yeah. That basically means that we need to find a different gun to try and build. I basically don't want to go through all the parts that I have sitting off to the side, because the parts that I have sitting off to the side have pretty much already been gone through. I've pretty much cleaned out every single parts bin that I have for parts that I find useful for building these types of things. So, in particular, gun building and whatnot, obviously there are certain parts that you reuse over and over and over again, and, well, slopes are one of those parts that I've already used over and over and over again. So, we really can't do anything about making the AUG because they don't have enough pieces to make the AUG. My other thing is that I really didn't want to build another AR platform weapon because they're so basic. Everyone and their mother's done an AR platform of weapon. But I still want to do something simple. Which is why it's kind of back and forth for me on most of this. Like, I want to build something, but I don't know what just yet is a problem that I'm having. Like, I've been going back and forth as to whether or not I want to build a gun or if I want to build a kind of something from here, which is I've been with the parts that I have. The hard part is finding exactly what I can and can't build. So doing something like this, I don't think I can I think this is too big and beyond the parts that I have to be able to do. As opposed to doing something like this, which I could do. I have the parts available to build something like this. The main problem would be the cockpit pieces. I think the cockpit pieces are the only thing I don't have. It's just, I have all these parts, but I don't know what to build. I don't know, and that's the problem. It's a huge problem that I've been fighting with. So let's dig through this bin right here. This bin has, or should, I should say, all of the cockpit pieces in it that I need. Hopefully, anyhow. So I can kind of get an idea of what I can build and what I can't build. Yeah, just I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't work the way that you want it to. I am going to go to the bathroom and then I will be back and we will take a look into possibly building something. If not, well, oh well. I still don't know what to build, right? I have a gunship base that's sitting over here that I haven't completed at all. I have an MP5K that's sitting down here that's not completed at all. I have an MP or a Crest Vector X sitting over here that hasn't been done at all. Vector X, I should say. The big box out in the living room, and I'm going to see what cockpit pieces are in there to see exactly what I should do. Cockpit wise, there's really nothing out there for me to use to build, which sucks because now I still don't know what to build. I'm sitting here. Like I said, I don't know. Well, because I don't know what to build, I'm just gonna go ahead and stream out here.